In this problem involving binomial theorem, we have been asked, the problem is as follows. It said that the person goes in for an exam which contains 4 papers with each paper having a maximum of m marks. We have to find the all possible ways in which this person can get a total of 2 m marks. So, how can we translate this problem into a problem involving binomial theorem? And that is, if you consider this expansion, that is 1 plus x square and so on till x power m. So, this raised to the power 4. In this expansion, if I look at the coefficient of x power 2m, that is the required answer. Why is it so? Because if you can, it's very clear that each of these terms, so there are 4 such terms and the exponent corresponding to x can be considered as a mark obtained in that corresponding exam. And if you take the coefficient of x power 2m, when you take the expansion, it is basically equivalent to the number of ways in which you can get a total of 2m marks. So, how to find about this thing? So, we know that this expansion can be considered as 1 minus x power m plus 1 divided by 1 minus x. So, this is something which is standard and this should be actually remembered because it is of use in several places. So, we have to find the, so we are looking at x power 2m in the expansion of this. Now, therefore, what we get is we have 1 minus x power m plus 1, this raised to 4 and 1 minus x raised to minus 4. Now, this is standard, one uses the binomial theorem, the normal binomial theorem to find out the coefficients of all the terms here. Here we have a negative exponent, but again we have the expansion for 1 minus x power minus n. So, first of all, since we are interested in finding out the coefficient of x power 2m, let us see in which all possible ways x power 2m can occur here. So, let me just write a few terms of this. So, we have 1 minus, so we have 4c1 times x power m plus 1, and I am not even bothered about writing the other few terms because the next term will involve the power of x will be 2m plus 2, which is more than 2m. So, let me just forget about the other terms. And in this, what I will write, so we have this well known formula that it will be 1 plus 4x. So, all the terms, the coefficient will be positive, plus, so we have 4 times 5 divided by 2 x square and so on. So, there are several other terms. So, now when we take the product of these two terms, we need to find which all can give us x power 2m. So, of course, there will be this possibility that 1 multiplied by whenever x power 2m occurs here, that is the first case, and the other case is when we have x power m plus 1 and x power m minus 1 from here. So, that is what is important here. So, basically we have to compute what is the coefficient of x power 2m and x power minus m minus 1 in this term. So, the coefficient of x power 2m in this term, so if you just have a look at it carefully, will be equal to, so we have 4 times 4 plus 1 times and so on. So, if you just have a look at it, it will be the last term will be 4 plus 2m minus 1 divided by, so what will be the factorial that will be involved here? So, it will be 2m, so for x power 2m we had this thing. So, what we have will be 2m plus 1. So, it will be 2m factorial itself, right? Yeah. So, if you cancel out the common terms, ultimately you will be left with, so the only things which will be remaining would be the terms on the numerator. So, this is 2m plus 3 and therefore, what you will be remaining with is 2m plus 1 times 2m plus 2 times 2m plus 3, and in the denominator you will be left with 3 factorial, which is 6. So this is something where you have to be very careful in such kind of problems to cancel out the common terms and find out exactly what terms are remaining. Okay. Similarly, you find out the coefficient of x power m minus 1 in this term. Remember that we are calculating this term. So in fact, one can now do it very easily because we have already found out. So in our case, it will be 4 times 4 plus 1 times 4 plus m minus 2 divided by, and here it will be m minus 1 factorial. So ultimately you will be left with m times m plus 1 times m plus 2. Again the denominator will be 6. So the coefficient that we are interested in will be 1 times this minus 4c1, which is equal to 4 times this thing. So if you take the common terms and further add them up, you will end up with the required solution, and that will be given. So it's not very difficult in our case. So you take m plus 1 by 6 as a common term and add up the remaining terms, you will get the final solution.